The movie opens with four best friends, Nora, Spice, the lion, and Andy, filling out their college applications a little too early for their age. A group of kids approach them and ask if they'll join them to search for dead bodies in a nearby warehouse. However, realizing the group doesn't have a plan if they actually find a dead body, the friends politely decline the invitation. And so their journey of never being invited to a party commences. 8 years later, the friends have attended their high school graduation ceremony, but are bummed that they never got invited to any of the graduation parties, or any other party for that matter, during high school. Left with no choice, they go back home. They have all been accepted to college, Annie to Dartmouth, Nora to Harvard, Lion to MIT, and Spice to Stanford. The summer break starts soon after, and the friends resort to working all summer. After working various odd jobs at the tennis court over the past few years, Andy joins as a tennis instructor this year. Nora is an ichthyology researcher who has a huge crush on her much older colleague, Erland. Lion is a martial arts instructor for children, and when he gets invited by an older cousin of one of his students to a house party at The Point, an exclusive gated community, Lion is almost in tears of joy. Later, he meets up with his friends, and they pull Andy's leg about his pen pal from India, who they think is imaginary, but Andy argues she is not. He tells them he is planning to visit him this summer, but it will cost $2,000. They meet up with Spice, who works as a kitchen assistant, and while enjoying his new recipe, Lion tells them about the party. Finally, having been invited, the group decides to experience everything they missed during their high school years. Lion wishes to get high. Nora wants to have a boyfriend, Spice wants to hook up with a girl and experience release, while Andy wants to get some action before his Indian pen pal, Danya, visits. The group reaches the party venue and is immediately awestruck by the grandeur of the location and the elegance of the guests. They are awkward as a cow on roller skates while trying to find the drinks counter, and when they find it, they go straight for hard alcohol that makes them cough and gag at the same time. Things take a turn for good when the friends impress everyone with their quirks. Spice makes a delicious souffle, Andy catches food with his mouth without falling even once, and Lion teaches high Tai Chi while smoking green. Nora's crush, Erland, is also at the party, and after flirting, playing in the water, and making out, they agree to hang out later that week. Meanwhile, one of the girls from the party asks Andy to join her in the bedroom, where Andy confesses he is a virgin but needs a lot of practice before his Indian friend visits. The girl, who is more experienced than him, gives him some pointers. Spice is not so lucky in that arena as his eagerness puts off the girl, and she leaves him hanging with a stiffy. However, his cooking skills result in the group being invited to another party. Andy is assigned to teach tennis to a group of women for the summer, and after one of his lessons, two older women stay behind. One of them, Gabby, proposes he take a private lesson for her, which he agrees to, and soon he is back in the posh neighborhood. As soon as he enters the house, she immediately seduces him, and they go for a long, steamy warm-up, which is duly paid for. He soon finds himself sleeping with his multiple clients for money. Andy and Spice are sunbathing at another party and enjoying a beer when Andy shares his abhorrence at Nora and Erland's closeness. Spice realizes Andy likes Nora, but Andy dismisses it and reveals his private lesson to Spice and says he is going to fund his pen pal's journey from India with the money he is earning. One day, the friends are hanging out when Andy makes fun of Nora and Erland's age difference, as Andy is 18 and Erland is 30, which upsets Nora, and she leaves. Spice calls out Andy for his hypocrisy because he has been sleeping with women much older than him, and all of them leave in a sour mood. That night, Andy transfers $2,050 to his pen pal for her flight, hoping she isn't a catfish, while Nora takes things to the next level with Erland, and they officially become a couple. During one of Andy's private lessons, Gabby's husband comes home early, which forces Andy to escape in his car naked and soon gets stopped by a police officer. At the station after the write-up, Andy helps the police officer who detained him with filing out the mortgage application. so the officer decides not to file any charges and leaves him with a warning. When Andy returns to work, he is confronted by his seniors about the naked incident and reveals they have also been sleeping with Gabby for many years. And because Andy almost got caught, they fear it will raise suspicion on them too. They warn him to stop giving private lessons or he will be fired. However, Andy ditches the warning in the gutter when one of his clients offers him $1,000 for a lesson and reaches her house in a drunken state. But in his stupor, he enters the wrong house where he meets his former classmate, Conch, who is on babysitting duty. Andy reveals he is coming from a party, which makes Conch ask why he and his friends never came to their parties. Andy matter-of-factly states that they were never invited, but Conch dismisses the notion and says nobody is ever invited, people just show up. He further states that nobody disliked Andy and his group, but they stayed away. Andy finally understands they ruined their high school experience themselves. Conch then cordially invites Andy to the summer dump party, which makes Andy really happy, and he sends a drunk text to his client that he is not coming. However, the next day, he gets fired because Gabby's husband found a tennis headband in his bedroom and called the facility to inquire. Meanwhile, Nora starts noticing Erland is not as interested in her as he used to be, and one day hears him talking to another woman with whom he has been cheating with. Nora dumps Erland and is left emotionally distressed. Lion gets a peyote-induced hallucination while teaching his students, and when the dojo owner realizes this, Lion is immediately fired. The friends regroup at Spice's workplace, and Spice tries to cheer them up after their mishaps in the last couple days. He encourages them to go to the summer dump party to create a lasting memory till everybody goes their separate ways to college. Just as they are talking, Andy gets a call from Danya, his pen pal, that she has arrived at the shuttle station. She had emailed Andy about her arrival, but Andy was too busy and didn't check his email. Nora and Lion volunteer to go with Andy as they are curious to see what she looks like. They soon arrive at Danya's location, and Danya immediately kisses Andy, making Nora uncomfortable. Andy takes Danya to a bed and breakfast, and as they are getting cozy, Andy is suddenly overwhelmed by the sudden urge to relieve himself and excuses himself. Peeing becomes difficult for him because of pain and a burning sensation, which worries him, and he soon rushes out after he explains himself very awkwardly, leaving Danya puzzled. It turns out that Andy has a yeast infection, and the doctor puts him on medication and recommends avoiding getting intimate for a week. So Andy tries his best to avoid getting close to Danya, making her think that Andy doesn't like her. The group goes to the end of summer party and is enthusiastically welcomed by Conch. Danya notices Andy and Nora's closeness and realizes they have feelings for each other. Feeling distraught, she walks away from everyone, but Lion follows her and comforts her, resulting in them kissing. Meanwhile, Spice finally has his release after he impresses a girl with a punch he mixed. However, the party is interrupted by the husbands of Andy's clients, as they have come to know Andy has been sleeping with their wives after one of the women confessed in a state of intoxication. Andy is baffled to see them approaching him, and as his entire life flashes in front of his eyes, he confesses his love for Nora in case he dies that night. He admits sleeping with their wives and also tells them he has contracted a yeast infection. Nevertheless, they punch him to the ground till Lion appears out of nowhere and beats up everyone, including a guy who looks like Randy Couture but is definitely not him because he got beat up. This impresses everybody, especially Danya. Their problems seem to have no end because just when everybody thought it was over, two policemen arrive to break up the party. One of them being the officer Andy helped earlier with a mortgage application. The policeman decides there is nothing to see there and offers the group a ride back home. As the group leaves, Conch proclaims them legends, and everybody joins in, cheering them as they leave. Danya soon leaves after spending a passionate week with Lion, and they promise to meet up during summer break. The summer is almost over, and the group has a very emotional goodbye while reminiscing the memories they made over their first say yes to everything summer. Lion and Spice leave Andy and Nora to have a moment with each other before they leave, and Nora professes her love for Andy. They kiss passionately and embrace each other before saying goodbye. The friends soon leave for their respective colleges, and upon reaching Dartmouth, Andy says goodbye to his parents who have come to drop him off. As he sees his parents drive off, he gets called by the woman from the first party he attended, who gives him a heads up and throws a candy, which he successfully catches with his mouth. He joins the induction line and is complimented by other students, which boosts Andy's confidence, and he introduces himself to his new friends. And that's a wrap for this movie recap. Thanks for watching.